Talking this week about salt of the earth and light of the world. Let's look at salt another way. Where would you be today? What kind of life would you be living if you had not become a Christian? What would you be like? Would the course of your personal history be different? Where would you be? Some of you are probably thinking, I'd probably be dead, drug overdose. I'd be in jail. I'd be a drunk, womanizer, dishonest, certainly of lesser character. What has stopped the rot and the decay in your life? The salt of Christianity. The church is like salt. The Bible is salt. The impact of salt in your life has been nothing less than remarkable. My own life, going downhill fast. The decay had set in. The rot was taking hold. If it was not for Jesus and the salt in my life, I would not like to think where I'd be now and the kind of person I would be. I would thank God forever for saving me and for the salt in my life. You know, we can trace the progress in the history of various nations and see how the presence of Christianity or lack of it has affected that nation. We need to understand the incredible impact of Christianity as a preservative in the world and in nations. Where nations have had little or no Christian influence, you'll find a far greater degree of corruption, violence, injustice, abuse, and all that kind of thing. Nations need godly leadership. Your presence, and that as a Christian, is a restraining force in a dark and rapidly decaying world. There is still hope, but once the church is out, all hope is gone. Now, Jesus speaks of a problem. Matthew 5:13-16. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men. They did a survey some time ago on the lifestyles of Christians and non-Christians. And they chose 85 different aspects of living and of behavior. Tragically, they found virtually no difference between Christians and non-Christians in lifestyle and aspects of behavior. And Jesus foresaw his followers struggling to stay salty. And that is exactly what has happened. He could see the danger of salt losing its saltiness and the danger of worldliness, losing our ability to stop the rot because we come in some way a part of the rot. We wake up and realize that instead of me mixing into the world has mixed into me. Instead of me stopping the rot, it's rotted me. The place of the ship is in the sea, but God help the ship if the sea gets into it. Jesus asks, how can it be made salty again? Our great danger is letting the salt lose its flavor. And instead of us stopping the rot, it rots us. Instead of the church influencing the world influences the church. A few years ago, a leading golf professional was invited to play around with Gerald Ford, the then US President, Jack Nicklaus, and Billy Graham. After the round, one of the professionals came up to the golfer and asked what it was like playing with the President, Billy Graham. The professional unleashed a torrent of cursing in a disgusted manner. He said, I don't need Billy Graham stuffing religion down my throat. Steamed off to the practice tee, started belting balls with fury. His neck was crimson, looked like steam was coming out of his ears. Friend, I went up to him and said, was Billy a bit rough on you today? He heaved a sigh of embarrassment and said, no, he didn't even mention religion. I just had a bad round. Amazing. Billy Graham had not said a word, yet accused of preaching. How could that be? Because Billy Graham's life and presence spoke for itself. The salt had a bite, conviction, and the pro felt it acutely. Salt can't help being salt.